Friends, today we are going to discuss NCERT question of chapter sound. The first question is, what is sound and how is it produced? So it is a very simple question. What is sound is sound is the form of energy which gives us the sensation of hearing. Okay, then how is it produced? So always remember that sound is produced by the vibrating objects. Whenever we discuss about the sound producing devices or sound producing instruments or sound producing objects, always there is vibration. Without vibration, sound cannot be produced. Okay. The second question, describe with the help of a diagram how compression and rarefactions are produced in air near a source of sound. Okay, so if we have to discuss this question in which how the compression and rarefaction is formed, so for this you have to understand is that suppose that there is a tuning fork. Okay, it is there, or instead of that you take any sound producing device. Suppose a speaker is there and its membrane is vibrating, and because of that what is happening, the sound is produced. So when this membrane it goes forward, it moves forward and it reaches say somewhere here. So when it reaches somewhere here, this is the mean position, and when it reaches somewhere here, so what happens that it causes the compression. And when compression is caused, then because of that what happens that the particles of the medium in this particular region, they come near to each other like this. Particles of the medium, they come near to each other. Like this, they come closer or near to each other. Then when this particular membrane it shifts back, when it shifts back, so what happens that rarefaction is formed. And when rarefaction is formed, what happens in rarefaction, that the particles they move apart. Similarly, when the membrane vibrates, it goes forward and returns back, goes forward and returns back. So series of compression, it means the particles are coming near, and the series of rarefaction, that is particles are moving apart, will be formed, and this is how the sound will travel. So if we are talking in this context, that suppose this is the compression, then here in this region we have the rarefaction. So what happens that the particles are moving apart here. You can see that the particles are moving apart. Okay, now in this particular region the particles are away from each other. Okay, and this is what the rarefaction is all about. And then last is again what will happen, that you will get a compression. Again you will get compression here. Okay, so like this a series of compression and rarefaction is formed whenever sound travels in a medium in air, and that's why this is the mechanism behind the sound. So this particular region is compression, where the particle density will increase, where the pressure will increase, and this region is the rarefaction, where the particle density will decrease, and that's why the pressure will decrease. So a series of compression and rarefaction is formed whenever sound travels in a medium. Let us discuss the third question. An experiment to show that sound needs a material medium for its propagation. So this particular experiment we discussed in the theory. This is the famous bell jar experiment, in which we take an electric bell, and in a bell jar it is fixed, and then we connect this with a vacuum pump, and now when we switch on the vacuum pump and switch on the electric bell also, so what happens that gradually the air is sucked out of the bell jar, and we find that the intensity of sound is also decreasing. It happens because as the air is coming out of the bell jar, so the vibrations, less number of vibrations can pass through the air, because less number of air molecules are there now, and that's why less vibrations are transmitted to the bell jar and to the surrounding medium. Okay, and when the air is completely sucked out of the bell jar, then there will be no vibration at all, and there will be no vibration transferred at all, and that's why no sound can be heard. It proves that to propagate the sound we need a material medium, otherwise the sound cannot propagate through the medium. Okay, let us discuss question number 5. Which characteristic of the sound helps you to identify your friend by his voice while sitting with others in a dark room? Okay, so the characteristic of the man or characteristic of your friend's sound or friend's voice, it is actually the this is the question number 5. So actually this characteristic is nothing but this is called the quality or timbre. Quality or timbre is what is the property of the sound, because of which one can recognize the sound very easily. Okay, sorry. Next question, question number 6. Flash and thunder are produced simultaneously, but thunder is heard a few seconds after the flash is seen. Why? So it is a very simple question, question number 6. In this, see, the flash and thunder, or during lightning, what happens that we hear the sound afterwards and we can see the lightning first. Why does it happen? The reason is very obvious, that the speed of sound is around 340 meter per second, so it takes time to travel and reach to us. But as far as the speed of light is concerned, it is very fast. 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second is the speed of light, and speed of sound in air is approximately 340 meter per second. So you can see the difference between these two speeds, and because of this, what happens that the sound it takes some time, it takes more time than light, and that's why we first see the lightning and then we can hear the sound. Okay. Next question. A person has a hearing range from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. What are the typical wavelengths of sound waves if the speed of sound is given 344 meter per second? Okay, so this is the question number 7, and in order to do the question number 7, you see that it is given that the hearing range of the person is 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So first let us do it for 20 Hz, then let us do it for 20 kilohertz. 20 kilohertz. So frequency here nu1 is 20 Hz, and here we have nu2 is equals to 20 kilohertz, and kilohertz, you know this, that 20 into 10 raised to the power 3 Hertz. Okay, this is nu2. Also the velocity of the sound is given, and the velocity of sound is given 344 meter per second in this particular one. 344 meter per second. Okay, so that I have written there, and after this what we have to find is the wavelength. So in first case, when we have to find a wavelength, lambda 1 is equals to V upon nu1, and V is 344 divided by nu1, that is 20. So that will give you 1, 2 ones are 2, 172 divided by 10, that is 17.2 meter. It is lambda 1. Okay, now as far as the second wavelength is concerned, lambda 2, that will give you V upon nu2. V is 344 divided by nu2. Nu2 is 20,000 Hertz, or 20 into 10 raised to the power 3 Hertz. Now what you can do is 10 to the power 3 and one more 0 is there, so it is 10 to the power 4, that will go up, so it is 10 to the power minus 4. 344 divided by 2 will give you 172. Okay, 172 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter would be the wavelength. Okay, now it is also asked that take the speed of sound. Okay, that's what we had to find, that the wavelength, what is the wavelength. So this is how you can find the wavelength. Okay, that's the question number 7. Okay, let us discuss question number 8. Two children are at opposite ends of an aluminium rod. One strikes the end of the rod with a stone. Find the ratio of times taken by the sound wave in air and in aluminium to reach the second child. Now you have to understand here that if this is the rod, and when a stone is thrown over it, so once what happens that first time the sound is traveling through the aluminium and its speed is 642 6420 meter per second. Okay, 6420 meter per second. And speed in air is let us take it 340 meter per second. You know that it is not fixed, but approximately you can take 340 meter per second. Now as far as the length is concerned, length is L. This is what the distance traveled by the sound in both the cases. You have to find the ratio of the time taken by the sound wave in air and in aluminium. So first we will find time taken by the sound wave in air. Okay, so time is equals to distance upon velocity. So distance is L divided by velocity in air is V air. Okay, so that will give you L upon V air is 340. Okay, this is time in air. Okay, equation 1. Similarly, you can find time in aluminium or time taken by the sound to travel through aluminium, and that is given by L upon 6420, and that is equation number 2. Now what you have to do is take the ratio of this time in air divided by time in aluminium, time through aluminium. So it will give you L upon 340 divided by L upon 6420. Okay, this L and L is cancelled, and that will give you 6420 divided by 340. So it is cancelled. Now 2, this is 17, and this is 2 3s are 2 2s are 2 1s are. Okay, and 321 upon 17, if it can be further 17 1s are 17, and then what will be there, 15 151. So might be it can be cancelled, otherwise 321 upon 17 is the ratio in which it is divided. Okay, so this is how you can do this question. Okay, let us discuss question number 9. The frequency of a source of sound is 100 Hz. How many times does it vibrate in a minute? Okay, a very simple question it is. Question number 9, let us discuss that. In question number 9, it is given that frequency is 100 Hz. So frequency of sound is given 100 Hz, and what is asked is how many times will it vibrate in 1 minute? In 1 minute only? Yeah. How many times does it vibrate in a minute? So time is given 1 minute, and you know that 1 minute is nothing but 60 seconds. Okay. So what you will do is nu is 100 Hz. What does it mean? In 1 second it completes. In 1 second it completes 100 oscillations. 100 oscillations. Okay. So in 60 seconds it completes 60 into 100, that is 6000 oscillations. 6000 oscillations. So this is how you can do this particular question. 6000 oscillations it is. Next is question number 10, does sound follow the same laws of reflection as light does? Explain. Yeah, of course, when we were discussing theory at that time also we discussed this, that whenever the laws of reflection are there, they are same in sound as they are in the light. So first law was that incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. So same law is applicable here also. Second is the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection, so that is also valid. Okay, so in both the laws are same for sound and light. Okay, next question number 11. When a sound is reflected from a distant object, an echo is produced. Let the distance between the reflecting surface and the source of sound production remains the same. Do you hear the echo? Let us discuss the question number 10 of your NCERT. Now in this it is given that does sound follow when a sound is reflected from a distant object, an echo is produced. Let the distance between the reflecting surface and the source of sound production remains the same. Do you hear echo sound on a hotter day? So basically what happens on a hotter day, the velocity of sound increases. When the velocity of sound increases, you know this thing that suppose this is the person who is producing the sound, and here we have the obstacle. Okay, so after getting reflected from the obstacle and returning back to the person, the sound should not take time less than 0.1 second. If it takes time less than 0.1 second, then the sound cannot be heard, because the echo can be heard because the original sound's impression remains in our brain for 0.1 second. Okay. Now the point is, when on a hotter day the velocity increases. Okay. So we know this, that on a normal day, to hear the echo, the minimum distance should be 17.2 meter. Okay, but that is there when the speed of sound is taken 344 meter per second. But what happens on a hotter day is that the speed of sound increases. So speed of sound increases. That's why it takes lesser time than 0.1 second, and because it takes lesser time than 0.1 second, because of that, what happens, that the sound comes earlier than 0.1 second to the person, and that's why echo can't be heard in that case. Okay, let us discuss question number 11. In question number 11, it is given that when a sound is this was the question number 11 only. Next is the question number 12. Now in the question number 12, give two practical applications of reflection of sound waves. So there are so many applications, but the first one we can take, the most important one, is sonar, sound navigation and ranging. Okay, sound navigation and ranging. We discussed it in theory also, but here we have to just write the example of it, write the application of it. The sound navigation and ranging, basically it works on the it works on the principle of echo only. Okay, or echo, or you can say that it works on the principle of reflection of sound. Second application is there in stethoscope. Doctors use the stethoscope. It contains a long tube. Okay, and when the vibrations are there in the heart, and they want to hear these vibrations of the heart, so what they do, they keep the stethoscope surface there over the heart, and these vibrations are carried through the tube to the doctor's ear, and doctor can hear the heartbeats very properly. Okay, so this is one more application of reflection of sound. Next is question number 13. A stone is dropped from the top of a tower 500 meter high. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us draw this. Okay, now in question number 13, it is given that from the top of a tower. Okay, so here suppose this is the tower. From the top of a tower, and its height is given 500 meter. So the height of the tower is given 500 meter. Okay, from the top of a tower 500 meter high, a stone is dropped into a pond of water at the base of the tower. So somewhere here the pond of water is there, and a stone is dropped. It reaches here. It produces a sound which is called splash. Okay, so this splash, it moves. This is the sound. It moves up, and then a person can hear that splash. Okay, the question is, when is the splash heard at the top? We have to find a time taken by the splash to be heard by the person who dropped the stone. So first you have to do this question in two parts. First is this, the time taken by the stone to drop down. So this is T1, and we have to find the time taken by the sound to move up. Let it be T2. Okay, so the total time would be the sum of T1 plus T2. Okay, where T1 is the time taken by the stone to drop down, and T2 is the time taken by the sound to move up. Okay, so to find T1, what we'll do, let us do it for T1 first. Okay, for T1, what we'll do, we will be applying S is equals to UT plus half A T square, and in this particular one, time is actually T1, we are doing it for T1. And as far as the acceleration is concerned, because we are dropping something, if you are dropping something, then the acceleration due to gravity is applied here. So value of acceleration due to gravity is here given 10. So you can take it 10 meter per second square. Okay, now distance is given 500, you dropped it, so initial velocity would be 0 plus half acceleration is g into t1 square. So t1 square is what we have to find. G is 10, we know this, and t1 square. So it is 2 5s are 10. So you can write t1 square is equals to 500 divided by 5. So that gives you 100, and its square root will give you 10 second. So t1 is 10 second. So this value is coming 10 second. Next you have to find t2. Okay. In order to find t2, you understand here that this equation is applied because when the stone is dropped, the motion of the stone is accelerated motion. That's why. Now, in case of sound, the sound will move with a constant speed, uniform speed. So that's why in order to find t2, what we will do is t2 is equals to distance upon velocity. Now, what is the distance? Distance is 500 divided by velocity is velocity, it must be given here, it is 340. So 500 divided by 340, that will give you 25 divided by 17, and more precisely that will be 17 on the 17, and then 8 is there, so it will give you 80. Okay, so 80 divided by 17 will give you 17 fours are I think 68. Okay, so 1.4 second. Okay, we don't need to find it to the two places to the decimal. 1.4 second. Okay, so this is 1.4 second, which we can substitute here. So the total time would be 11.4 second. This is the total time after the stone is being dropped. After that, it will take 11.4 second to hear the splash. Okay. Let us discuss question number 14. A sound wave travels at a speed of 339 meter per second. If the wavelength is 1.5 centimeter, what is the frequency of the wave? Okay, and will it be audible? So for this, what you have to do is sound wave travels with a speed. V is given 339 meter per second. You know this, that the speed of sound is not constant. See, it is in every numerical, it is different. So whatever the value is given, that you have to take. Okay. Now, if the wavelength is 1.5 centimeter, what is the frequency of the wave? So wavelength is given 1.5 centimeter. That is nothing but 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter. And what you have to find is the frequency. So it is very simple. Nu is equals to V upon lambda. V is 339 divided by 1.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 2. Okay, so that will be 339 upon 1.5 into 10 raised to the power 2. Okay, now this point will go, so it will become 10 raised to the power 3. Now it is 339. So 15 to the 30, 3, 15 to the 30, 9, 15 6 90 into 10 raised to the power 3 hertz, or you can say it is 22.6 kilohertz. And you know this, that human beings can hear the sound up to 20 hertz, not beyond that. So that's why it won't be audible. So this sound won't be audible to us. Question number 15. What is reverberation? How can it be reduced? So this particular question we discussed in the theory, but if you want to rediscuss it, reverberation is nothing but persistence of sound at a place for a longer period of time because of multiple reflection. Okay, now how it can be reduced? See, it is undesirable actually. So we have to reduce it, because in a concert hall, if reverberation is there and sound lasts for longer period of time, say more than 0.1 second, then in that case what will happen is that in that particular case the echo can be heard. So in order to reduce the reverberation, so many arrangements are done in concert halls. Curtains are used, or such materials like carpet and such things are used, furniture is used, so that the sound can be absorbed and reverberation can be reduced. Okay. Question number 16. What is loudness of sound? What factors does it depend on? So loudness depends on the intensity. Actually, see, loudness is the response of human ear to the sound. Okay, and that varies from person to person. It might be possible that a particular sound is loud for me, but not that loud for someone else. So basically, it is the response of the person, okay, to the sound, and that depends on the intensity of the sound. Okay, so loudness depends on the intensity, and that is the response of the human ear to the sound. Question number 18. How is ultrasound used for cleaning? Question number 17. Explain how bats how bats use ultrasound to catch a prey. So that also we discussed, that bats produce the ultrasound. That ultrasound travels to the prey and reflects back, and by the time taken by the sound to come to the bats again, by that time the bats can get the idea about that what is the distance of the prey. So basically they are working on the basis of echo technique. Okay, next is question number 18. How is ultrasound used for cleaning purpose? So that also we have done, that suppose a spiral tube is there which is very difficult to clean, so that is kept inside the solution in which the ultrasound is passed, and when the ultrasound is passed through it, because of its high vibrations, what happens, that these vibrations, because of that, vibrations are produced in the tube, in the liquid, and then these vibrations, because of these vibrations, the cleaning of the liquid, the cleaning of the tube is done. Okay, question number 19. Explain the working and application of a sonar. So that we have already done in theory, that what is there in a sonar is, in a sonar devices are used by the ships. Okay, so on the ships these sonar devices are there, and they are used to find the depth of the sea, or any obstacle is there in between. So suppose that obstacle is there, or if you have to find the distance of the obstacle, they use the sonar device. So they have the transmitter. So when the sound travels, it goes to the obstacle and returns back, and this distance, total distance traveled, would be 2d, and that will be equal to v into t. So by this, once they know the time, velocity of the sound in water they can find, and by that they can get the idea about the distance of the obstacle. Similarly, in order to find the depth of the sea also they can use this. Okay, so d plus d will give you 2d, and that is equals to v into t. By the same method they can find the depth of the sea also. Okay, question number 20 is given, that a sonar device on a submarine sends out a signal and receives an echo 5 seconds later. So the time is given here 5 seconds. Okay, and now what is asked is, calculate the speed of the sound in water if the distance of the object from the submarine is 3625. So distance is given 3625, and they are asking the speed of sound. So you know that speed 2d equal to v into t. This is for sonar only we are doing. So we have to find what? We have to find v. So v is equals to 2d upon t. As far as 2d, d is 2 into 3625 divided by 5. Okay, and what you can do is, v is equals to 2 5s are 10, 0 1, 2 2s are 4 and 1 5, 2 6s are 12, 2 1, 2 3s 6, 2 3s are 6 and 1 7 2 5 0 divided by 5. That will give you 5 1s are 5, 2 5 4s are 22, 5 5s are 25. 1450 meter per second would be the speed of sound in water. Okay. Question number 21 is related with the metal block, how the defects can be found in the metal block using sonar. So that we have already discussed in the theory. And last is question number 22, explain how the human ear works. That also we have completed in the theory. Thank you. Friends, today we are going to discuss some practice problems of sound chapter, and these practice problems are related with the formula v equals to nu lambda, where v is the velocity of the sound or velocity of any wave, nu is the frequency of the wave, and lambda is the wavelength. Okay, so let us discuss this question. The first question is, a boat anchor is rocked by waves whose consecutive crests are 100 meters apart. Okay, consecutive crests are 100 meters apart. It means that the wavelength is given, that wavelength is 100 meter. Okay, so the distance between the consecutive crest is said to be the wavelength. So its consecutive crests are 100 meters apart. If the wave speed of the moving crest is 20 meters per second, so next given velocity equals to 20 meter per second. And what is asked? It is asked that calculate the frequency at which the boat rocks. Okay, so the frequency, that is nu, you have to find. Okay, now very simply you can do this. V is equals to nu lambda. Okay, nu you have to find. Velocity is 20 divided by 100. So that will give you 0.2, and frequency's unit is hertz. So frequency's unit is hertz, so the answer will come in hertz. Here also you can write velocity's unit is meter per second, frequency's unit is hertz, and wavelength's unit is meter when we are talking in SI unit, that is the International System of Units. Okay, let us discuss question number 2. Question number 2 is like this: calculate the wavelength of sound wave having a frequency of 300 hertz and speed 330 meter per second. Okay, so this is the question second, and here it is given that wavelength of a sound wave having a frequency. So specifically mentioned that frequency is 300 hertz. Okay, and also it is mentioned that speed is 330 meter per second. Now what is asked is the wavelength. So lambda is equals to question mark. Okay, so what you will do, you will be applying V is equals to nu lambda again. You have to find lambda. So lambda would be V upon nu. What is V? V is 330 divided by nu. Nu is 300. So this is cancelled. You will be getting 33 upon 30, that is 11 upon 10, that is 1.1, and wavelength unit is meter. So this is what the second question's answer is. Let us discuss the third question. Okay, now in the third question, this is the third one. It is given in the third question that the sonic boom of an aircraft has a time period of 0.00. So this is the time period given, 0. And how many times 0? 4 times zeros are there. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 second. After that 5 is there. Okay, this is the time period given, capital T, and calculate the frequency of the sound wave. So this is one more formula which we have to understand, that there is one formula, frequency is equals to 1 upon time period. This is the relation between frequency and time period. So what you can do is, you have to find the frequency. In the question it is given that find the frequency. So for that what you will do, frequency is equals to 1 upon time period. Okay, so frequency is equals to 1 upon time period, that is 0.1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. Okay, so this decimal we will remove and we will be getting 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. Okay, and these zeros are of no use. 5 2s are 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 into 10 raised to the power 4, and the unit would be hertz. So frequency's unit would be 2 into 10 raised to the power 4 hertz. Let us discuss question number 4. A periodic longitudinal wave is sent on a slinky. Slinky means what? Slinky means there is a spring, okay, and it's a long spring. Okay, this is called slinky. Okay, now it is given that a periodic longitudinal wave is sent on a slinky. The wave proceeds at a speed of 48 meter per second. So the velocity of the wave is given 48 meter per second. Okay. Now what is asked? And each particle oscillates at a frequency of 12 hertz. So frequency is also given. Frequency is given 12 hertz. Okay. And what is asked? Calculate the minimum separation between the positions where the slinky is most compressed. Minimum separation where the slinky is most compressed is nothing but the wavelength. Okay, wavelength is the minimum separation between two compressions or two rarefactions. Okay, so wavelength you have to find. Lambda is question mark. So you will be applying V equals to nu lambda here. So V is equals to nu lambda. V is equals to nu lambda. This implies velocity is 48 is equals to frequency is 12 and wavelength is we have to find. So from here you will be getting lambda is equals to 48 divided by 12, that is 4 meter. So the wavelength is coming 4 meter. Okay, next question number 5. Question number 5 is like this. A source produces 12 crests and 15 troughs in 3 seconds. Okay, excuse me. So it is given that a source produces 15 crests and 15 troughs in 3 seconds. Okay, 15 crests in 15 troughs in 3 seconds. What does it mean? That it produces 15 waves in 3 seconds. Okay, 15 waves, complete waves in 3 seconds. Okay, so number of waves are 15 or number of oscillations are 15 in how much time? In 3 seconds. So 15, so you can write that 15 waves in 3 seconds. 15 waves in 3 seconds. This implies one wave, one complete wave. It means these were so many waves, but one wave is like this. So one wave in 3 upon 15 seconds. And time taken to complete the one wave is called time period. So this implies time period capital T is given 3 upon 15, that is 1 upon 5 seconds. Okay, so this is the time period given. Now what is asked is find the frequency, wavelength and speed. So we got the time period. If we got the time period, we can find the first part, that is the frequency. Frequency is equals to 1 upon time period. So it is equals to 1 upon 5, that is 5 hertz. 5 hertz. So this is what the frequency is. Next, what is asked is the wavelength. When wavelength is asked, what you will do is V equals to nu lambda. But here we don't have lambda. Velocity is given. Velocity is okay. 15 crests and 15 troughs in 3 seconds is given. Okay, but velocity we don't know. So what we can do here is see. We have given 15 crests and 15 troughs in 3 seconds. Okay, so it means that, see, 15 crests and 15 troughs in 3 seconds, what does it mean? Suppose this is the 15. So one wave completed, one wavelength, two wavelength, like this. How many wavelengths? 15 times the wavelength is completed. In how much time? In 3 seconds. Are you getting it or not? 15 crests, 15 troughs means 15 complete waves. And 15 complete waves means what? It means that 15 times the wavelength, that distance is covered by the wave. Okay, in 3 seconds. So this is the distance covered in 3 seconds. So you can write speed. We know this, that speed is equals to distance upon time. Distance upon time. Now as far as distance is concerned, distance upon time. As far as distance is concerned, that will be 3 times wavelength divided by time, and time is how much? It is given 3 seconds. 3 seconds was the time. Okay, so what we can do is we can write speed is equals to nothing but the wavelength. Here we had 15, sorry. So it is 5. Okay, so it is coming, speed is equals to 5 times lambda meter per second. So this is what the speed is coming. But still we are not getting the speed in exact one. Here see in the question it is given, when the second crest is produced, the first is 2 centimeter away from the source. When the second crest is produced, the first is 2 centimeter away from the source. So when the second crest, now you see here in the question it is given, when the second crest is produced, the first is 2 centimeter away from the source. So when we produce the first crest, it has traveled forward. This is the first crest. And now when the second crest is started producing, at that time what has happened, that the first crest is 2 centimeter away from the source. What does it mean? That this is the complete wave and then we have the first crest and its distance is 2 centimeter away. It is nothing but the wavelength, that is 2 centimeter. Okay, that is 2 centimeter. Okay, now speed is 5 times lambda. So what you can do? 2 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter. Okay, or that is 0.02 meter. This you can substitute here to find speed. That will be 5 times 0.02, that is 5 2s are 10, so that gives you 0.1 meter per second. This is the speed, right? Let us discuss the next question. Question number 6. Now in this question it is given here that a longitudinal wave is produced on a slinky. The frequency of the wave is 25 hertz. Okay, so frequency is given 25 hertz. Okay, and it travels at a speed of 20 centimeter per second. So velocity is given 20 centimeter per second. Okay, 20 centimeter per second. Fine. Next is find a separation between consecutive positions of maximum compressions. Consecutive positions of maximum compressions is nothing but again the wavelength. So V is given, nu is given, wavelength you have to find. V is equals to nu lambda. Lambda equals to V by nu. So it is 20 centimeter per second is nothing but 20 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by frequency is 25. 4, so 5 4s are 5 5s are 4 by 5 is 0.02 into 10 raised to the power minus 2, or you can write 0.002 meter, and that is the wavelength. Okay. Let us discuss question number 7. Now in question number 7 you see here that a sound wave has a frequency of 2 kilohertz. So frequency of the sound wave is given 2 kilohertz. Now 2 kilohertz, you should know 2 kilohertz, kilo is 10 raised to the power 3 hertz. Okay, so 2 into 10 raised to the power 3 hertz. This is the frequency, and wavelength is given 35 centimeter. So wavelength is given 35 centimeter is nothing but 35 into 10 raised to the power minus 2 meter. Now what is asked is find a separation between, how long will it take to travel 1.5 kilometer? So we have to find a time taken by the wave to travel 1.5 kilometer. So distance is given 1.5 kilometer. This is what we have to find. Okay, so if you have to find the time taken to cover this distance, you must know the velocity. We don't know the velocity of the sound. If we know it, then we can find it. So for that, first we have to find velocity. Velocity we know that is equal to frequency into wavelength. So frequency is 2 into 10 raised to the power 3 multiplied by the wavelength is lambda, that is 35 into 10 raised to the power minus 2. Now 2 and here you have 35. So 35 to the 70. 10 raised to the power 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 2, that is 10. So 700. 700 meter per second is the velocity. Now what is asked is the time taken to complete 1.5 kilometer. So time is equals to distance upon speed or distance upon velocity. Distance is 1.5 kilometer, which has to be converted into meters. Why? Because here we have speed in meters. So 1.5 into 10 to the power 3 meter, because it is kilometer, then divided by 700. So what you can do is 1 5 and 00 divided by 700. So these two zeros are gone. 7 so t equals to 15 by 7. 7 2s are 14. 7 1s are 7. 3 7 4s are 28. 2.14 second would be the time taken by the sound to cover the distance 1.5 kilometer. Right? Let us discuss question number 8 now. In question number 8, you can see that a hospital uses an ultrasonic scanner to locate tumors in the tissue. Fine. This is question number 8. In this, it is given that what is the wavelength of sound in a tissue in which the speed of sound is given 1.7 kilometer per second. So speed of sound is given 1.7 kilometer per second. Do remember that when we have the speed of sound in kilometer per second, we convert it into meter per second. 1.7 into 10 to the power 3 meter per second is the velocity of the sound. Now what is given? The operating frequency of scanner. Operating frequency of scanner is given 4.2 megahertz. 4.2 megahertz. Do remember, mega means 10 raised to the power 6 hertz. So it is frequency is equals to 4.2 into 10 raised to the power 6 hertz. Okay, so this is what the frequency is. This is what the velocity is. What we have to find is the wavelength. Okay, so wavelength, we know V equals to nu lambda, or lambda is equals to V upon nu. Now what is V? V is 1.7 into 10 raised to the power 3 divided by 4.2 into 10 raised to the power 6. So this is gone, and you can write 10 raised to the power 3 is cancelled. So here we have 10 raised to the power 3. Okay, then this will go up. So 10 raised to the power minus 3. Okay, velocity upon frequency, right? And 17 upon 42. 17 upon 42, and that you can solve, and you can get the answer of this. 17 2s are 34, so it will be approximately 1 by 2 if I say approximately, and it will be coming around 0.5, approximately 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 3, that is 5 into 10 to the power minus 4, and unit would be, we are finding wavelength, so unit would be meter. Okay, this is approximate because we have taken the approximation here, right? Then question number 9 of your worksheet. In question number 9, it is given that an observer standing at the sea coast observes 54 waves reaching the coast per minute. Okay, 54 waves in 1 minute. 54 waves in 1 minute. 54 waves in 1 minute, and that is in 60 seconds. 60 seconds. 54 waves. 54 waves in 60 seconds. So one wave in 60 upon 54. 6 tens are 6 9s are. So 10 by 9 second. This is one wave. Okay. One wave reaches there in 10 by 9 second. So that is what the time period is. Okay. So the time period is 10 by 9 second. Okay. Now what is given? If the wavelength of wave is 10 meter, find the velocity. Wavelength of wave lambda is given 5 meter. Wavelength is given, it is given 10 meter. Wavelength is given 10 meter, and what is asked is wave velocity. So for velocity you need velocity equals to distance upon or displacement upon time. Displacement is wavelength lambda upon time is capital T. So lambda is 10 divided by capital T is the time period, that is 10 by 9. So you can write it as 9 because 10 and 10 will cancel and 9 will go up. So 9 meter per second would be the velocity. Okay. Question number 10. Let us discuss question number 10 now. In question number 10, it is given that how far does sound travel in air when a tuning fork of frequency 560 Hz makes 30 vibrations. Okay, so tuning fork of frequency 560 Hz. So nu is given 560 Hz. Tuning fork of frequency 560 Hz makes 30 vibrations. So 30 vibrations when it makes, 30 vibrations when it makes, how far the sound travels. Okay, speed of sound is given. See, frequency is given, so time period we can find. Time period would be 1 upon nu, that is 1 upon 560 seconds, right? This is the time period. Now, what is given, that how far does it travel when it completes 30 vibrations? So we have to find a time taken to complete 30 vibrations. Time taken to complete one vibration is time period, and time period is 1 by 560 seconds. So time to complete 30 vibrations. Time to complete 30 vibrations. Time to complete 30 vibrations would be 30 multiplied by 1 upon 560. This is cancelled. So it is that will be 3 upon 560, 56, and that is the time in seconds. Now what is asked, that how far the sound will travel. Time we have now. This is the time completed, time taken in completing 30 vibrations. Now they are asking that if the speed of sound is given, then tell us that how far the sound will travel. So the distance is equals to speed into time. So speed is given 360, right? Speed is given 336, sorry. Multiplied by 3 upon 56, that is the time. Okay, so that will give you 2 1s are 2, 1 2 6 are 12, 1 2 8s are 16, and that is 28. Now you can 4 4s are 16, 4 2s are 8, 4 7s are 28, 7 6 are 40, 6 3s are 18. So 18 meter distance the sound would have travelled when when the tuning fork completes the 30 vibrations. Okay. Next question is question number 11. And in question number 11, it is given that a bat emits ultrasonic sound of frequency 100 kilohertz. So frequency is given 100 kilohertz. Okay, that is 100 into 10 raised to the power 3 hertz. Okay, now what is given is if this sound meets a water surface, what is the wavelength of reflected sound and transmitted sound? See, reflected sounds wavelength you have to find, reflected sounds wavelength and transmitted sounds wavelength. Transmitted sounds wavelength. So for this, see, reflected sound will go in air, transmitted sound will go in water. So for that you should know the speed of sound in air and speed of sound in water. Speed of sound in air is given here and it is given 340 meter per second. And speed of sound in water is given, and it is given how much? It is given 1486 meter per second. Now what we have to find? Wavelength. So we can apply that formula only, V equals to nu lambda. Okay. Frequency is given and velocity is given. So 340 is equals to 10 raised to the power 4 multiplied by lambda. So lambda is equals to 340 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 meter. Okay, now as far as this is concerned, velocity 1486 is equals to frequency. Frequency is 10 raised to the power 4 into wavelength is lambda. So lambda is equals to 1486 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 4 meter. Okay, like this you can solve it. Okay, thank you.